Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful big planet of ours. This is Doc Skinner with 1028 Live. It is Thursday, January 17th. Yeah, that's it, 2019. It's always so hard to remember the correct year right after the year change. I'm sure I'm not alone on that one. But thank you for joining me tonight. Um, I like to think of my show as the upscale Wayne's World. Well, I don't have a co-host, but I do have guests. That I do. Yes, I do. Yes, sir, Bob. So I've got a great guest coming up in a minute, but just want to give you my weekly recap in case you're new to the show or missed an episode. Just so you know, we have Disclosure Con coming up October 5th and 6th. I skipped that. I should say we have Survival Prepper Expo May 25th and 26th at the Honda Casino Resort in Pine Top, Arizona. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. A lot of fun. And oh, yeah, did I mention it's going to be free to the public? Oh, yeah. So come on out. We're going to have some amazing people that are going to be teaching some, little workshops and classes. Bring the family. It's Saturday and a Sunday. It's also a holiday weekend, so you're off, I know for a fact, and you want to do some fun with the family and get some good goodies to put in the garage or in the bunker or wherever. Hey, come on out. Check us out at the Honda Casino Resort. By the way, that's HON-DAH. Not like the car. So just so you don't go to the wrong casino. So we have that. And then October 5th and 6th, the first weekend in October, will be our second, I could say annual now, annual um, Disclosure Con 2019. And we've got some great guests that are coming, artists, collectors, um, uh, creative individuals, we'll just say, and some big special surprises. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to miss it. And then after that, on the 17th of October through the 20th, throughout the Pine Top Lakeside Sholo White Mountains area, we've got the White Mountains Film Festival, and it's going to be huge. It was huge last year, and if you're into movies or if you want to get into movies and you want to just this is the time. You don't have to go to the other places that everybody goes to try to be famous. Do it right here on the mountain. I told you we would, and we're doing it. We are. Go back to season one. I all the whole season. I was like, yep, it's gonna happen. You just gotta stick to your guts. Anyway, all right. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. You can go to the White Mountains Film Festival website or the Sholo Film Festival website, and you can submit your films. If you would like to be a sponsor for this amazing event, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So if you want to be a sponsor, give me a call. My phone number is 928-368-7929. Don't worry, it's my internet number, so everybody in the world's got it. It's no big deal. So yeah, 928-368-7929, just in case you were grabbing a pen. Then and you can do that with Disclosure Con and Survival Prepper Expo if you would like to be a vendor, a sponsor, or even an advertiser in our program books, which I don't have anything with me right now. I put them all in the other room. And beautiful books. Disclosure Con is actually, the program book is a comic book form. That's a lot of fun. And because of Disclosure Con, every year I would like to have a new artist do the poster, the iconic image of that year. And it needs to be something that can be on a comic book cover. It can be blown up into a poster, used on T-shirts. It'll be in video, promos, website advertising. So you're going to get your skill set just being seen by everybody. And I'm going to give you a free artist booth on Artist Alley, so you can sit there and sign all those autographs all day long and sell any kind of artwork you might have, and showcase you. So that's what's going on now. If you're like, what am I going to do? Well, just think comic book cover, okay? And here's some suggestions. These aren't mandatory. These are just thoughts. Like the X-Files, or last year's was Stranger Things, done by Jeff West, which was just phenomenal. Stuff about maybe Q, had a big impact on 2018, I think. UFOs, Bigfoot, Travis Walton, Stargate, Hollow Earth, Planet X, sci-fi movies, comic movies, trademark, be careful, trademark on that. And YouTube conspiracy alternative media shows and hosts. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a few of them, because I would like to think that I'm like the new kid on the block, and be fun to it's just anyway. Those are some plans. All right, now on top of all that, be sure to go out and get your Off Grid magazine. I know I'm cheating. I know it's normally Dr. Pepper, but I'm getting old. My body's getting old. So, all right, we get on to that. So those are just some ideas. Send them to Doc Skinner for the artwork. Doc Skinner, DOCSKINNER at 1028 Productions. That's 1028 Productions with an S.com. And we'll have a contest, and it won't just be my opinion. We'll ask the audience. Well, maybe we'll do votes. We'll do a poll. That's what we'll do. We'll do a poll on each post with each person's image. Well, does that make sense? We'll put all the images in one post. We'll have a voter poll and see how many people like what. So get all your friends and family to come to the site and check it out and vote for you. And you can be all over Pine Top that whole weekend of October. And what else? All right, so we'll leave that at that. I just wanted to get that out there because time is flying by fast. Now, I have an amazing guest on tonight. I had the honor of physically meeting her at Disclosure Con. She was one of the booth vendors, and I didn't know who she was. I mean, I knew who she was because she booked the thing, but we hadn't really gotten to know each other. And the one thing I loved about this woman was she didn't have to say anything. It was just standing in front of her, and she'll probably tell you I was a little stressed. No one ever done anything like Disclosure Con, so I was like, it's like it was calming. It was calming to be around her. So I'm very, very excited to have her on, and I'm very excited that I'm going to get to spend some more time in her world in Sedona, Arizona. So right now I would like to bring Suzanne Ross, inspirational author and speaker, TV producer, host, and narrator of the Sci-Spy TV network. And she's also a psychic medium who offers spiritual counseling. And I'm sure she does other things too. I wanted her to tell you. So let me pull her on real quick. Oh, get rid of this here. And take her off. Ladies and gentlemen, Suzanne Ross.
Greetings. Thanks so much for having me on your show, Doc. It's such a pleasure to be here. I look forward to a fascinating discussion.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Now, you weren't like blacked out on the mute, were you? You were able to see the show, your intro. Did I do it right?
No.
Oh, you didn't get to see the intro?
I did not see it.
I thought, okay, I'm going to have to.
Blacked out.
Oh, no, because I was told that if my guests are in the hold area on Zoom, that they could still watch. So it's always a check mark in a box somewhere. So I am really excited to have you. I'm really excited about what you got to tell us about that I got invited to. I'm really stoked. And, well, you have the Sci-Spy, is it .tv? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
SCISPI.tv.
Okay. Let me just pull that up real quick. Because I did have it up, but we had that little technical. There we go. SCI. Spy TV Network. Boom, boom, boom. I just pulling this up. I know I had it all up earlier, but we had that glitch. All right, so I'm going to share this real quick, and you got to remind me to take off the share so I don't leave it up the whole time. Here we go. Now, this is your website, and it's on sci-spy.tv, and this is the events page. The big event that you got coming up, which we're going to talk about, but let's go to, that was the last page I had open earlier. So,
Yeah, and you can click on Sci-Spy, that little gold square up top, and that'll take you to the homepage.
Okay, well, here we are. We're at
Mm-hmm.
the Sci-Spy TV network, and we got an introduction video. Now I want to play it, but you know how YouTube is. So I don't want them to shut us off in the middle of the show. So if you would you like to talk about this? It's sci-spy.tv. There's no www. Is that correct? Or does it go there automatically?
Yeah, it's www.scispy.tv.
Okay. And as I scroll down, you have immense number of shows. And it's not just you. It's like a whole bunch of people. Some people I recognize, and some people I feel like I need to see. I don't know. Like this guy, just he's pulling me in with his Raiders of the Lost Ark hat, or I don't know, but so tell me what is Sci-Spy TV? Does it have a structure, or is it everything and anything in this realm?
Yes. So it is science and spirituality merging for a brand new genre. So have been in conscious media for a few years now, and I was downloaded with this brand new genre. I was in meditation and it just came through sci-spy. Whoa, a whole new genre merging science and spirituality, and it just made so much sense for me because I'm very fascinated by quantum physics and have always been very intrigued, by everything to do with this new science, and also, very much on a spiritual path. So quantum physics, was explaining something about the spiritual revelations that we're having, interdimensional realms, and sort of these other star systems and star beings we're able to access by interpenetrating other dimensions and realms. So spiritually we're very well aware that these exist, and but now quantum physics is proving that. And of course, quantum physics is just fascinating. So
Oh
when
yes.
it came through for me, to merge science and spirituality and this whole new genre, sci-fi, I just was so excited. I looked, I went on the internet, I didn't find it anywhere else. And so I trademarked it. And
Right.
so then I was like, okay, what do I do with this? And it was crystal clear. You're going to create a brand new internet TV network, Sci-Spy TV. And so, Spirit always gives me these huge projects. Okay, that's a lot, but
Right.
I'm on a mission, and the mission is to awaken humanity with, this new science, spiritual revelations. And of course, it includes disclosure and ufology, because that's all part of the awakening experience as well.
That's the thing is it is all interwoven, even some of the religion aspects. Um,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it, I've always felt that way since I was 3. I had an encounter, and from that moment, something. Actually, I was told by a psychic or medium, one maybe both. She owned a store in Newport, Oregon, right on the Fisherman's Wharf, and that she was the first person to ever say to me, "You're a walk-in. You walked in when you were 3." And I didn't know. I young dumb. I just got married. I was, just not didn't think about it. But as time progressed over the years, I mean, I've always had this feeling like I wasn't originally here as the like something similar to a walk-in, or something downloaded consciousness, knowledge, and Anyway, so that was my first encounter with like real mediums and psychics, except on Hollywood Boulevard, but I didn't make that one count. So, so Um, so that was kind of my introduction. I did get involved in a little of the dark when I was in military school to scare the seniors so they wouldn't pick on me and sit in the corner with a satanic Bible in my bed. I'd play with Ouija boards made in South America with an upside down crucifix. I was desperate. That was a bad year. So I've had my dips and dabbles with different aspects, but I always remember Sedona, and I always remember my father giving me my first crystal, which shocked me because he was, you know, at that time he was a pilot, a captain for Southwest Airlines. Before then, he was a military pilot, very, very, you know, no who man, that's all, juju. And I remember the first time he gave it to me, how he was transformed just by being in Sedona, where you live, right? And you're doing
I do.
stuff, and that's where your station is based out of, your network.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. I have a TV studio in the lower level of my house. We converted it to a television studio with the green screen, lighting, sound foam, the whole nine yards.
Hmm.
So yes, people come here. People come here. People fly into Phoenix and come here just to be on the show or to record for their own show. Although we do have show hosts who are creating and producing their own videos, like Brooks Agnew, our good friend
Yeah.
Brooks Agnew, and he's got 7 best-selling books, and he's got a widely popular radio show, and yeah, he's gotten very good at editing videos, and his show is called The Potential of All Potentialities. So, he does a fantastic job
Hmm.
with, editing the videos and sending them to me, and then, we can put them on the network. So we have a lot of the show hosts are able to produce and create their own videos, their own television shows, I should say. And so each and every one of them has their own show page. And on that page, you will find previews of their show for people who haven't subscribed yet. But then you subscribe to see all the full episodes, and it's only $5.55 a month. So it's very affordable price of a Starbucks cup of coffee. You have a whole month of over 20 shows. We're adding our 24th show this week. It's Geraldine Orozco. I don't know if you're familiar with
I've
Geraldine,
heard the name, yes.
but she had a remarkable experience of being taken up in a craft and being shown her hybrid children, and now her experiences, she recalls it in such great detail. And then another outcome of her visitations is this high level of awareness about how the universe works, again, with quantum physics and understanding quantum consciousness and understanding quantum waves.
Hmm.
And again, like with psychic communication, quantum physics is explaining how that works, how information travels on gravity waves, and how we can communicate across remote distances. And so yeah, I'm very excited to have Geraldine Orozco on the network. We have many ancient aliens, guests and stars
Yeah.
on the show because I'm a huge fan of ancient aliens. So I've interviewed just about everybody who's on that show for my show, Lighten Up TV. But
Hmm.
Andrew Collins and Hugh Newman have Megalithic TV, which is
Ah.
great because that's, alternative history, and they're going to all the ancient sites, and, it's just a fantastic show. And then Brad Olson is on an amazing trek from, across South America to all of
Wow.
these really cool sites. Tiwanaku, which is, amazing, and Machu Picchu and Lake Titicaca. And so he's taking a camera with him, and he's sending me the thumb drives as
Hmm.
he goes on this journey. So I have exclusive footage of his journey across South America. Now he just got special permission to go to Antarctica, and he has set sail last night, and he is on his way to Antarctica to see that 3-mile wide silver disc. And then there's also like a huge, long cigar shaped craft that's being exposed by the melting snow.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard of it, but the
Yeah.
fact that somebody knows going there to look at it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's taking a camera.
That's
And then
awesome.
our event, this event that you will be doing the audio video for in Sedona, March 19th and 20th,
Hmm.
Brad Olson, that will be his first event where he will give the big reveal about what he found there in Antarctica.
Wow. Wow. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so Brad Olson. Okay, before we get away from this, can you, I mean, I know it was on the website. Can you just tell us again when it is, where it is, any details people might need, if there's a hotel nearby? Let's, I mean, my audience is, and I know I'm starting out the season, and then it's a whole new concept of the show, new guests and new audience. So you have a huge audience, but if I can get you two more people, can you tell?
Oh, dear. Thank you. Of course. Absolutely. We're very excited about Beyond the Matrix, a 5D ascension experience. And we have amazing keynotes. So Barbara Hanclow has dedicated her entire life to the awakening of humanity. She's been doing this for over 4 decades. She's got 20 books, and she's an icon and a legend in the industry of awakening humanity. So I'm very honored to have her as our keynote. Her husband Jerry Clow also does the Sounds of the 11 Dimensions. And then we have keynotes Maureen St. Germain, who's currently a best-selling author of Waking Up in 5D. Trisha McCannon, 4 best-selling books about angels, Jesus in the Mystery Schools, all kinds of
Wow.
spiritual material. But beyond that, we have Brooks Agnew, Brad Olson. We have the amazing Dr. Louis Turi. He's going to do a hypnotic trance for the audience and
Nice.
allow us to access our superconscious minds.
Wait, wait. Someone's going to hypnotize the audience? Is that what you said?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that
Yes.
okay. It's
Dr.
cool.
Louis Turi.
Doctor,
Yeah,
how do you
he's the
how do you
amazing
spell
Dr. Turi.
Doctor Torre?
Turi.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Turi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He was
Okay.
on Brooks Agnew's show last week, and
Okay.
yeah, he's world renowned for his psychic predictions about catastrophic events.
Ooh.
Um, he predicted 9/11, and he had the CIA and FBI come to his house and knock on his door because he literally predicted that event before it happened. So he got the attention of the
Mm-hmm.
CIA.
Wow.
But he also predicts major weather events. He was on William Shatner's show, and he's a friend of William Shatner's, and William Shatner said, hey, you're going to come on this show as a world renowned predictor. You need to do this. You're going to predict 5 events, 5 dates. You're going to mail it to Canada. Then when the camera crew gets to your house, they're going to have envelope in hand. They're going to open the envelope and see if those 5 events occurred on the dates you predicted they would.
Hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. Every one of them happened just as he had predicted. So this is an episode of one of William Shatner's shows with Dr. Torrey. So that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, there's so many people in these fields. I don't think everybody can know all of them, but I do recognize some of these names, and hearing more about them, I'm stoked, and I hope my 2 or 3 viewers will go to this. That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so you just
Doctor
go to
Turi.
sci-fi.tv.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just. I mean, you mentioned he predicted 9/11, and then that's intriguing. I need to learn more about this guy. And Brad What'd you say? Brad, the other gentleman's name?
You know Brad Olson?
Brad Olson. Okay.
So
Olsen. Okay. Just making sure I had those written down right. So, um, what else going to be going on at the event other than speakers? I'm
so it's
sure.
going to be very yeah, it's going to be very interactive. So this event is not about people getting on stage and presenting information. This is going to be about people coming on and offering some type of energetic practice that raises the frequency of the audience. We're going to be doing, circles where everybody is holding hands, or, we're all standing in a group, and we are sending an attention across the entire wave of the collective consciousness. I am going to be interviewing Lynn McTaggart. I don't know if you're familiar with Lynn McTaggart. She's the intention expert. She's got 3 uh, New York Times best-selling books. She's not going to be at the event, but she is inspiring this idea that collectively, when you gather as a group and you send out an intention across the field of consciousness, that you can make a remarkable impact. And so with her intention experiments, she has had, groups gather and send an intention to lower violence in a violent community. And lo and behold, the statistics clearly show that when they did that, violence dropped dramatically. There was even an instance where she was able, her and this group that got together were able to actually fizzle out a war that was taking place in a third world country just by sending out this powerful intention in a group. Of course, this works for healing individuals and what have you, but based on her techniques and how she does it, that's something that we're going to be doing at this event. We're going to be sending powerful waves of healing across the entire global matrix. Healing, inspiration, peace. And I truly believe that we can make a powerful impact by doing that. So yes, the event's going to be very interactive with a lot of initiations, meditations, activations, and also we have award-winning recording artists that will be playing the Native American flute, drumming. We have someone who's playing the harp, crystal bowls, so that's what we do here in Sedona. Tuesday is the day before the spring equinox. And then Wednesday is the spring equinox. Now, I know it's unusual to have an event on Tuesday, Wednesday, but I was really called by Spirit to have this on the spring equinox. Now, ancient cultures built entire structures around the rising sun of the spring equinox.
Yes,
So
yeah, they did.
we can take a couple days off work or whatever we have to do to be on the grand vortex of Sedona, Bell
Hmm.
Rock, to greet the rising sun of the spring equinox. And of course, we're going to have a spiritual guide, well-known spiritual guide, Sarion Michael White, will be guiding the meditation on Bell Rock on the morning of the equinox.
Hmm. Wow. You know,
Yeah.
I have a music background, and being in an entertainer and stuff, I always would talk about with my friends when we'd be writing music about the energy of music and how what you're talking about us doing at this event just made me think that it's similar to going to a rock show or a concert, okay? You go in there, you're at an energy level. You go on, or you're in the audience. Now the entertainers come out. They're the ones that are amped up. They pump it through the microphones, the amplifiers, out through these huge speakers, it amps up more. It hits all the people at once. They experience it all the same at once, and it amplifies, and then their excitement goes back to the band, and it's just a cycle. And that's why at the end of the night, you can have the crowd clear, which I've been in many events with at the end when everybody's gone. And if you're quiet, you can still hear the crowds because the energy. So it's quantum physics, it's metaphysics, it's science, it's God, it's everything. but everybody's got to be cliquish. Everybody's got to have their group, their cult, their church, their religion, their science, their agnostic, everything. It's like it all connects. Even in all the just the religious realms alone, there's all these elements that are similar in all of them. The stories are a little different, but they all have the same message or the same events, like the big flood. So events like yours, I feel, is good because it's opening people up to that. Because now you're bringing two conflicting elements through time back together. Because somewhere religion separated science and dimensions. Where our angels came from and all that. So I am very, very excited to see and what I'm going to learn at this. I was going to say weekend event, but it's not a weekend. It's Tuesday, Wednesday. This 2-day event. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm so excited for the event, and I know it's just going to be very powerful. And, those who participate in the event, they will be changed after the event. They will experience a powerful transformation, an elevation in their frequency, an elevation in their psychic awareness. They will have a different perception of reality when they leave, and a different experience of their own personal world and the world around them. And there is no doubt in my mind about that. One thing that we're doing is we're igniting dormant DNA. And that's part of what, Barbara Handclough and her husband, Jerry Clough, Jerry Clough, when he does the sounds of the 11 dimensions, that
Wait.
ignites dormant
Oh,
DNA because,
wait.
right?
I'm sorry. 11 dimension what music?
Yeah. So Jerry Clough, Barbara
Okay.
Handclough's husband,
Okay.
has been offering what's called the sounds of the 11 dimensions. And so they're tones. Barbara Handclough is very famous for a book called The Alchemy of Nine Dimensions.
Okay.
So Jerry was, complementing that by doing the sounds of the dimensions. Well, now he's bringing forth for this event the sounds of the 11 dimensions, and so it's toning, right? And so it will resonate profoundly with the entire group, allowing access into these multi-dimensional realms. And so, talk about raising the frequency.
It well, let's talk about synchronicity. Just yesterday, now I've been in the business 40 years. I'm 45. Started when I was a kid. This is brand new. It's supposedly the new thing on YouTube right now, but it's multi-dimensional music. And it's regular music like Bohemian Rhapsody and songs like that. That was the one I heard. And it's supposed to go beyond stereo. And I listened to a 4D Bohemian Rhapsody, and it sounded like it was just kind of going in a circle, but it was very, very realistic, right? But then he told me, "Oh, no, 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 go YouTube 100D music," and they have like albums and artists, like mainstream artists that are doing this now instead of just the normal, you know, surround sound. It's this multi-dimensional, and you have to have like really good headphones to do it. I'm kind of creeped out to do because I was like, I don't know what kind of doors am I opening listening to this. Um, but so there's like 100 dimension music now. It's only been around for 6 months, but the fact that that's coming out, you're talking about bringing science and metaphysics and meditation and all this stuff together. And now this is coming out on YouTube. And then you mention this multi-dimension music. Now, do you see that this great awakening is it me, or is it just really starting to spin faster and faster? Like more and more is being revealed on a larger scale.
Absolutely. And more of us are expanding our awareness of it. And as we do, we tap into the same field of consciousness. So that's why we're downloading the same types of things around the world and applying them in different waves, you know? So I think that the veil is thin between interdimensional realms right now. I mean, I read it, hear about it over and over again. This is a very unique, opportune time for those of us on planet Earth
And
to
oh yes.
access higher realms. It's like we're being offered this right now. More than ever, we can interpenetrate the interdimensional realms and access greater fields of consciousness, right? Tap
You,
into it and
and
download
I think
revelations.
I just think you just solved one of my biggest frustrations that's been happening lately. I like to think I'm a creative guy, but a lot lately, I'm sitting here going, "Oh yeah, I got $1 million. Oh yeah, I'm gonna write this down on it. Okay, just gonna Google, make sure I can get the .com. Crap, someone's already made it." Is
Exactly what
that would
I'm saying.
explain it.
Yeah.
That would explain it. Now you're talking about the like the ethos or the not the ethos. It starts with an E, right? The consciousness or
Ether?
ether. Thank you. Um, I have learned over the years that there was a gentleman that created the God helmet in Canada. He's a professor in a university in Canada. It was called the God helmet. It was in Time magazine and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how he's worked with Ingo Swann in remote viewing, and how Ingo was the godfather of remote viewing. And I've spent time with Ed Dames, and he told me the same thing. And Ed he told no, I can't say that. Never mind. Off the show. I'll tell you that. But oh, where was I going? It's that moment I told you about where I forget. What was I saying?
You were talking about the God helmet and Ingo Swan.
Yes, thank you. All right. So
The
Ingo Swan.
God helmet. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically a motorcycle helmet with a bunch of holes with wires.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah, and so
about. Hmm.
it's getting hot in here. He was saying that the Earth's electromagnetosphere that surrounds our planet is what? Electromagnetic. Just like VHS tape, audio tape, it holds audio, video, data, material. So he said that when we're asleep at night, we don't have solar flares bouncing off our electromagnetosphere, and it's kind of at rest on the dark side, right? And as we sleep, we can connect to that, and that's our dream realm. For example, when people have shared dreams, have you ever heard of that phenomenon?
Hmm.
Had it when I was a kid with four other people when I was in junior high. Creepy, but that was kind of a verify of yeah, this is possible. Now, my theory, and I want to talk to you. I want to get your your look at it or view of it. When we come to death, we have the life flashing before our eyes. Okay, our brain is a wireless organic computer, and we have IP addresses. So a mother and a child have a similar MAC address, but different IP but similar MAC address. Twins, the same thing. So they have that connection. Mom, you can feel something and your child's hurt and they're 1,000 miles away. Are you okay? How'd you know, Mom? Well, I just know. It's mom's instinct. Same thing. So, what if when we have that near death experience or die, that life flashing before our eyes is the entire hard drive zip driving itself, compressing everything, and then right up the tunnel into the electromagnetosphere where it joins this big. I'm going really sci-fi here, but you're crossing the
Not so
lines.
much. I'm tracking you.
Okay,
Yeah, you're making
so
it, very
so
understandable.
so what if heaven, not God, what if heaven is really above the earth, and it's the electromagnetosphere, and it's like the Matrix. a gigantic, organic, living electromagnetic computer surrounding an organic body. And but then I also think heaven could be in the middle of Osiris, 250 million light years away. Um, but what do you think of that concept? That's just something a theory I've peddled with, and I hope nobody else came up with it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing with for years. What do you think?
My friend, I think it's likely this whole illusion of reality, this whole, holographic movie, us as holograms, in this computer program, this multi-dimensional computer program. And, heaven then would just be a higher level of the matrix, like we're in this 3D matrix, maybe so-called heaven is a 5D matrix where
Hmm.
there's more love and light. And maybe
Yeah.
that's the next step, where people go in this computer program when they leave this 3D matrix. And or maybe there is a place called source, where people go between these incarnations before they come back and return to, enter back into the holographic movie. I have this vision, Doc, and it came to me in trance meditation. And what it is that, and it's also inspired by the Urantia book, let me say. Those of you who might be familiar with the Urantia book, I think it's also a somewhat controversial book, but I've read it over and again, and it resonates with me so profoundly. I call it the Universal Bible. It's spelled Urantia. And the story is that there was a couple in the early 1900s who started, who were doctors. The one was a psychiatrist, and his patient just started spontaneously downloading this very advanced, sophisticated language and explaining the source of all creation from the first infinite realm of pure consciousness through an eternal into an eternal realm. So literally like a portal between the infinite sea of pure consciousness into an eternal realm that has a beginning and no ending. So eternity is sourced by this infinite realm, right? That's why there's, no ending. It's expanding into eternity. It has to be fueled by some never ending source, right?
Hmm.
And, what they created was this first eternal universe, this universe settled in the eternal now moment that transcends time, where it's just, eternally present. And the beings on this central universe, they call it, are, the 100% divine blueprint. This eternal realm is in divine perfection. And here are the souls, the eternal souls. But this realm is existential. You exist in this realm, in this state of perfection. But these children, they had a desire to experience. And so they, imagined a capacity to mentally project time, space, dimensions where they could experience.
Now,
And so,
do you feel like, well, let me put it this way. I feel like Earth is not only a spaceship out there, just floating around, an organic spaceship, but I feel like it's a gigantic university of life. And before we come here, we're in that ethos, in that heaven, wherever you believe. And like in college, we're standing in line for all the things that we're going to have happen to us in our life that we choose. Like I want to experience this. I want this to happen. I want to be able to do this for somebody, and blah 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 blah. And we sign up for all those things. And those people that come in and out of your life, sometimes for a long period or sometimes just for 10 minutes, but they made an impact on your life. I feel like those are the people that are standing right behind you or in front of you going, oh, yeah, yeah, I already went through this a couple of times. I'll be there at that same time when you go through this. So, hey, I'll check in on you, see how you're doing. And they help us through. And they become our little angels at those moments. So I kind of see that, there's that reincarnation aspect to that little story. And um, uh, I don't know, do you see the world as something like a place of lessons, bettering ourselves, bettering our soul, reaching a higher level, becoming an old soul, which I've been told I'm one of those, but um, or do you see it more as like a lot more people are seeing today because of the movie The Matrix, that we are just a computer holographic image in some, you know, two squids playing in their room on planet Zedhoid, and they're like, it's like Sim City, and we're the Sim City.
I mean, no, I don't see that. What I see is sort of what I was describing,
Okay.
is that there is one true reality. And in this Urantia book, I mean, that's what they are saying. There is only one true reality that is, it's the only place where our eternal souls are real. And it's the, completion, it's the wholeness of who we are. What we're doing is we are projecting these fractals of ourselves. We're projecting these fractals in 3D, 4D, 5D, and many books talk about 12 dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
and we're actually, projecting 12 aspects of ourself in each of those 12 dimensions for a total of 144 soul extensions. And all of these incarnations are unfolding all at once. So let's simplify that a bit and just say 12. Just say, this eternal soul is projecting in all four directions 12 aspects of itself into
What do you mean
12
by what do you
dimensions,
mean by an
which are
aspect of yourself?
a holographic fractal of yourself.
No, 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 no.
So that it's just
An aspect
112.
of yourself. When you say aspect,
Um, um, some people call it a soul extension,
okay.
but this me right here, this is just a 3D expression
Uh huh.
of who I am as a holographic fractal. My whole
Okay.
self is my eternal soul,
Okay.
who
Okay.
is the completion, the wholeness of who I am. So, what we have to remember here then in this explanation is all of these incarnations, spiritual and physical, are happening all at once. They are simultaneously taking place all at once in the true nature of reality, which is the eternal now moment. This linear space time we've created is just for the purpose of experiencing, of creating these holographic experiences. And yes, you said it. Why? To know thyself. And I say to experience love. To know thyself through lessons we learn in these experiential realms, these, where we have these holographic incarnations, and to experience love,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really profound. And so, from a linear perspective, we can say, yes, we're evolving, you know, sure, we're evolving, we're here 3D, we're going to now next experience transition through 4D, experience 5D. But really, Doc, in the eternal now moment, this is all happening simultaneously all at once.
Yeah.
So from that
Multi-level.
perspective, it's
Yeah.
not a linear, you know.
Wow.
So, I mean, I've seen that, it was shown to me. I had this incredible opportunity to have a personal mantra initiation by a Himalayan guru. Well, I didn't know what to expect. I was already doing automatic writing and channeling at the time, but, I had this opportunity to do this. And so I said, sign me up. This awakening center I was involved with, they're like, well, fasten your seatbelt. because your perception of the reality and the way you interact with it is going to be drastically changed. So I said, well, I'm ready. Let's do this. So this Himalayan guru, he sat next to me and he tuned into my energetic body. And he, from doing that, he customized a mantra for me. Now, say the universal mantra is Om Mani Padme Hum, but he customized one just for me. And then he reached over and he sang it in my ear. Like, you're not supposed to share the personal mantra with anyone. So just using the universal mantra, he just sang in my ear. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. And as he was doing that, my whole body was just vibrating at this high frequency. And I was just taking this all in. And then when he was done, he just sat back and I thought, okay, we're done. I bowed and he said, no, stay seated. And he put his palm on my forehead and we just stayed like that. And his hand was shaking and I was like kind of vibrating and I saw binary code and I
Whoa.
knew exactly what he was doing. He was downloading all of his wisdom and knowledge into my third eye, which would, transmit onto my pineal gland and download into my being. And it was phenomenal. And then I was instructed to walk out into the rose garden. So I walked out into the rose garden and I looked around and I had such a profound sense of oneness with all living things and beings. I reached out to the rose and the rose literally reached back. And I knew then that there was one life force that was illuminating all living things and beings. And I wondered, what is this life force? And I knew in that instance, it was love. It was one thing. It was love emanating from source, illuminating all living things and beings. So what you're saying about interconnectedness, absolutely. If you even consider the eternal realm where all the eternal souls are, what's the source of that? There's one source
Mm-hmm.
fueling all of it. There's one mind, one spirit, one source,
Yeah.
and we are that.
And
And that's what connects all of us.
yeah, when you were talking about how he was downloading to you, it made me reminded me even in the Christian faith of the story of Jesus when the woman just touched his cloth and all of a sudden she was healed. Was she healed or so anyway, someone touched his cloth and they were healed. He didn't have to touch them. And it was like a download. And you know, he had the mystic teachings, like you said, and I believe that he was taking those skill sets and he was like literally downloading to them how their body could heal themselves. And that's when I started figuring that out. That's when I started going, okay, science. There's got to be some science to this, and that years ago. But um, I'm just excited that you're doing this with your network and you're crossing the two. I just hope that one day science and religion will do the same because they're all connected. They're all connected. Um,
Well, it's interesting you should say that, Doc, because Ancient Aliens quantum physicist Michael Dennin has a show on the network.
oh, nice.
And Michael Dennin's book is called Divine Science, because here you have a quantum physicist who is a Christian, who goes to church every Sunday with his family,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also a quantum physicist discovering, all of these profound things about multidimensional realms. So what is he discovering? He's discovering, if you will, the seventh heaven that they talk about in the Bible.
Wow.
And another one of my guests, Joseph Selby, who wrote the Yugas, also came out with another book where through quantum physics, he proves these 7 dimensions, the seventh one being the seventh heaven. And so, the religious community is also waking up to some of these revelations that quantum physicists are talking about. And so quantum physicists is inspiring these, people who are so-called religious or Christians. And on the other hand, Christians are inspiring quantum physicists
Mm-hmm.
with their belief in a seventh heaven, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it's really beautiful. And, I think there's truly an awakening of humanity and evolving. We
Yeah.
are evolving. And as we do, we open our minds to these possibilities more and more. And also, I think the interconnectedness gets more profound, just like in my own experience
Mm-hmm.
of my awakening. As I awaken, the sense of oneness just gets more and more profound.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the intergalactic connection, right? I mean, I've had missing time experiences where I came back and suddenly my psychic abilities were enhanced so significantly, and so I believe that's what happens in these missing time experiences as well. We're taken aboard craft and we're downloaded with advanced technology,
Yeah.
intelligence that will reveal itself over time.
Yeah, which can be very frustrating for the information holder, the flashes and going, why am I thinking this? How did I come up with this? What's it for? And it having to be years later. But um, it's kind of like the mechanics of God. When you start seeing more and more, you start seeing things happen. Not hindsight 2020, And I'm really intrigued to see what I'm going to discover at this 2-day event. Um, everybody that knows me knows I need to do something like this. Everybody's telling me, go meditate, dog. Take time off. I'm like, I would love to take an hour off at least, but yeah, you got to pay those bills and
Definitely make time to tune in, my
yeah.
friend. Seriously, just sitting wherever you want to sit, and just close your eyes and allow that time to just, you know, tune into source, tune into the intergalactic realms. Just set the intention to do it. Ask
Hmm.
and you shall receive.
Yeah.
I mean, that is simple as that. Ask and you shall receive.
Well, that doesn't seem so
Um,
hard. I mean, that's kind of what I do every morning. Every morning, I just take time
there
to
you
do
have
my
it.
prayer. And then I just sit there. I mean, my eyes are open, I'm staring at the wall, but I'm visualizing my day. I'm visualizing my events that I got coming up. I'm visualizing how to change the world. Kind of like sports people, where they say, "Visualize you're doing the basket. Don't use the ball. Just visualize it." And then they do it and they get it. Or golfing. Or I'm not a sports guy, but I know they use these techniques. And I mean, if that's what it consists of, then shoot, I think I might be able to do this thing with you guys, because I was worried I was gonna have to know all these chants and mantras and bust my kneecap trying to sit all in, because I'm old, my body doesn't bend like it used to. So
No,
no,
right.
but
It's
if
all
it's
guided. You sit in
yeah,
a chair.
yeah, I mean, I I've always had friends in this realm. Like I said, my dad, he lived in Scottsdale, so he would go up to Sedona once in a while. And but I was always too busy, um, or I was never close enough to Sedona. Now I'm here. I have no excuse, and I'm excited to go. I'm excited to see Sedona again, since I was a kid. I haven't been, and I'm just interested to see where this is going to take me. So I'm excited.
And I like to, it's so exciting because, I don't know what people envision a bunch of us sitting in a sweat lodge or a bunch of woo woo people running, chanting and swaying and sing.
Oh, we're not doing that.
These are,
We're not doing that.
well, we may do some of that,
I mean,
but,
sweat lodges have always kind of
the,
intrigued me.
yeah, me too. But maybe not so much. But yeah, you've got highly intelligent, well versed people who have written 20 books. You know what I mean? Who are offering these teachings and guidance. So, you know, um, I'm just honored to have such advanced guests, who will be guiding the practices and offering the presentation.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that. And I wanted to mention my books. You were talking about Earth being a school.
Yes.
And so my book, Wake Up,
Uh-huh.
is a 10-day life lessons workshop. And I like to recommend this book for people who are, starting out on the path, and they have, limiting beliefs around what they can do, what they can manifest, what they can become. Can they awaken? Can they awaken to a higher way of living and being? Can they move beyond the barriers of their 3D life? Can they break through limiting patterns?
Can we change
Um, you
DNA
know,
to turn on those DNAs that are off? Can we do that yet? Or is that just something they're trying in labs or?
yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that, because my other book, Rise Up.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
we
That's
talk
awesome.
about exactly that in Rise Up.
That's funny.
Yes, my friend. Well, what I was just telling you about multidimensional realms. So I had a 4-hour missing time experience with my friends Matthew and Megan, who were on my radio show last night. We were all three here at my house. We went out on my deck at 8 o'clock. We saw a bright flash in the sky. And the next thing we know, like, we're all standing there going, it's freezing. Why are we still standing out here? We come in the house, it's 12:40. We literally lost 4 hours of time. And
Whoa.
the next morning, we all felt nauseated, lightheaded. And we were just all kind of sitting there stunned about what could have happened. And we had set an intention prior to going out on the deck to call in,
Yeah.
galactic beings, particularly Arcturians, because my friend Matthew had previous experiences with Arcturians and being pulled aboard a Arcturian ship. So
Okay.
lo and behold, we go out on the deck, and there you have it. We go out there at 8 o'clock. We come back in. It's 12:40, and to us, it seems like we've only been out there 20 minutes. And so we talked about that on the air, because then I went to world-renowned psychic Amanda Romania. She's best-selling author too. I went to see her, and before I even got my butt sat in the chair, she said, "You were taken aboard a craft, you and two of your friends, and they came up your stairwell." So what happened, Doc, is we were standing on the deck, and I have motion detectors. This is a second floor deck. And I have motion detectors, one at the bottom, one at the middle of the stairs, and one at the top of the stairs. Well, my friend Megan, she said, she grabbed the handrail and she said, "I feel dizzy." And I said, "You know what? I do too." And then the motion detector at the bottom of the stairs went on, the middle of the stairs went on, and the top one went on. And the three of us just sat there and watched this happen as if someone was coming up the stairs, but we couldn't see anybody. And then the next thing we knew, we were all standing there looking at each other. We're freezing. Let's go inside. We go inside and we're all exhausted. Like, just let's go to bed, And so I went to bed. I picked up my phone. It's 12:40. I'm shocked, And then the next day we're just stunned. And so I went to the psychic, and she described to me, this pod landed in your backyard in an invisibility shield. These three Arcturians came up, took you three by the hand, brought you down to the pod, took you to a larger craft. On board the craft, you were downloaded with this advanced intelligence technology, and it is for your mission. And this will unfold over time. And so it wasn't long after that, I found myself in my front yard where I often meditate, facing the sun. I had a giant poster board in front of me and a marker, and I just started drawing a circle in the middle, source, and around that, 12 circles, 12 dimensions. And I was shown one by one of my soul aspects in each of these 12 dimensions, who I was, what my name was, what star system I was on. And I mean, I'm going, whoa, like, what the heck is this? So I'm thinking, well, this is like a soul reunion, and I can do it for my friends. And so I did, one by one. I'm doing it for my friends. I'm able to reveal to them. And those who are more spiritually advanced, they can see it. They're like, "I see it. I'm seeing what you see. that resonates with me so profoundly. I share those characteristics, blah, 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 as we go through the 12 dimensions. And so I'm getting ready to present this at a conference, Cosmic Awakening Conference here in Sedona. And the day before the conference, I'm shown like in the air, this whole, holographic movie. And what I'm seeing is it's more than just a soul reunion, Suzanne. When you tune people into who they are in 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, what you're doing is you're raising their frequency to that higher level. You're tuning them into their 5D aspect. So if you imagine that 3D is the first incarnational realm and you go to 12D, that's 10. And what I was shown is that here in 3D, we are only expressing 10% of who we are. And that goes back to what I was saying about being a fractal. So they say we only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And with the DNA, they say that we're only using like,
small portion of it. We're
up to 10%.
Because a lot of it's turned off. Yeah.
Right? Because the rest is so-called turned off. Mm-hmm. And many have said that it was intentionally turned off by evil creator gods. I'm going to offer another perspective. This is only 10% of who we are as a whole being. Mm-hmm. The other 90% are in the other dimensions. And the only 100% soul is our eternal soul who's projecting these fractals. So when I tune you into 4D, for instance, Doc, you pick up another 20%. I just ignited now 10 more percent of your DNA. When I tune you into who you are in 5D, now I've ignited 30% of your DNA. And as you go around the circle, and when I do these readings for people, they literally start like, vibrating at like, 6D, 7D, and I'll say, okay, this is where we stop. Now you integrate that higher frequency. And now that I've introduced you to who you are in 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, I want you to continue to do that. You tune into who you are expressing in these realms. And as you do, you will ignite that dormant DNA as you go through. And ultimately, you get up to 12, you've now ignited 100% of your DNA. You're tuning into your eternal soul. You're becoming the wholeness of who you are as this multidimensional being.
Wow.
So there you have it, my friend.
Boom.
Yeah. But people all the time, they go around saying, we're multidimensional beings. We're multidimensional beings. Well, what does that mean? Well, I just explained it to you.
They probably think it means you just get to walk through a tear in time and space from one, world to another, like they see on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right? And I mean,
but let me tell you, let me tell you out of what you just said about all that, the percentages, what grabbed me was we are 10% of who we really are. And I think about how everybody is always putting on a show every day to, you may be having a bad day, but if someone comes up to you and they say, how you doing today? You say, I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there, but you may, you're not giving 100% of yourself there. You're just giving a little bit. And I think that's how people are. You've just blown my mind with that statement alone. That is just, I'm not going to sleep tonight very much. I'm going to be sitting here just wondering, because, having 12 different parts of you even explains, oh, well, there's like 10 other of you in 10 other dimensions. No, it's still the same guy. But parts of me are in different dimensions. Am I making sense, or am I getting lost in my words?
No, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
You just have to remember that you're an eternal soul.
Yeah.
It's your eternal soul who's projecting these, mentally projecting these fractals of yourself in 12 dimensions. And you can imagine a sphere. I think
But
that
can
makes it easier to
but
imagine a
but kid but is there a way that now this is like sci-fi channel stuff, but I believe it could be science fact. Is there a way we could literally, I mean, go to those other dimensions? You know,
Absolutely.
swap with the other 10%, and try try a day out somewhere else, another dimension. Is that feasible, or is that just something you have to do with your eyes closed and imagine yourself being there? Or, I mean, do you think if we unlock enough, we could physically do these things? Because I think that's why so many people are standoffish with metaphysics and religion and all that, because we're unable to fly. We're unable to make things levitate, or not everybody can. We're not one big consciousness yet, so we can't read each other's minds. And so I think the average Joe Blow who plays PlayStation all day and watches football games and eats his McDonald's or whatnot, they that seems out of just unrealistic, out of grasp. Doing things like what you'll learn at these events, can that bring you closer to something like that? I mean, I know we're not going to, have superpowers, anytime soon, but I could see our society, our race, human beings evolving to that.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And so, for one, with the mystery school teachings, Sue Walker, Rev White Otter on their website, Official First Contact, they have a Telepathy 101 primer. And, you can start practicing your ability to telepath, telekinesis. I mean, these pendulums, just with the power of your mind, I can just look at the pendulum and I can ask it to go back and forth, and I can ask it to go front and back, and I can ask it to go around in a circle to the right, and I can ask it to go stop and to go around in a circle to the left. And, I mean, that's a form of telekinesis, you
Mm-hmm.
know, for me to be able to make this crystal go back and forth, right and left, around, just whatever my mind is asking this crystal to do, it's doing. So that's a form of telekinesis, if you will. And then, telepathy. I've practiced telepathy. I've had telepath with people in another location, and they text me back, and they're like, "What's up?" I didn't text them. I
Mm-hmm.
mentally sent them a message to text me. Boom,
Yeah.
they text me. I mean, this is all very doable. Now, when I do readings for people, what am I seeing? I'm able to, over Zoom, access their eternal soul with permission. And then I can see the fractals they're projecting. I can see who they are in these different realms. And I mean, it's quite phenomenal. So yes, in meditation, we can in effect sort of leave our body and travel to these other dimensions and experience them. And it's very real, but it's something that must be developed if
Now,
you wish to do that. Now, physically, I think you and I both know there's been time machines around since Tesla. And
mhm.
I believe there's jump rooms right now,
Oh
just like
yes.
in
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Trek.
No, Andrew Bashago's jump rooms. You know Andrew
Yes.
Bashago?
Yes.
So
I absolutely do.
yeah,
Yes.
because he was supposed to be at our event, but he's has his
He
medical issues.
was.
So yes, I've actually, what's really crazy, and I'm gonna do this for you really quick. Since I was 4 or 5, on all my papers in school, and I never understood why, I always drew this over and over and over again. I turned it in as artwork for art class. I mean, I drew that.
Whoa.
The staircase going into,
Wow.
and I really never knew why I drew it. And then I started learning about portals and
Wow.
time things.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
You were stepping into a Stargate, my friend.
yeah, and I feel we all have some sort of connection to all these things, but some people have more connection with a really cool thing like Andrew Bashago and jump rooms. Which, I asked him. I said, Andrew, how many times did you jump? He goes, I jumped a lot of times. I was like, so do you think maybe we could back engineer it, you and me? I could build it. He's like, and then you and I, we could jump. He was like, oh, no, 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 no. I did it, done it. Don't need to do it again. And I was like, but what, could you help me build it? He wasn't too keen about it. But yeah, I've always had this pull towards Stargate and and
Yes,
and other and
it's
here
real,
and here's a
right?
thing and here's a synchronicity. Now, Devlin and I, we talk online and working on getting him up here for Disclosure Con if I can this year. And he's the creator of Stargate. So it's like all these things are aligning. And a certain remote viewer told me this is the place you want to be. This is where your life will take a huge turn for the better. And it has. It hasn't been instantaneous, but it has. It's awesome. Um, so in the view of life, you might say that hallway of doors. They always say, when one door closes, another one opens. I peek in every one of them. I don't go through them all, but I peek in every door. And yeah, so this, who knows? Where did you say we're going to be at? Something Rock? What was the name of it?
Bell
Bell Rock.
Rock.
And
And it is magnificent. It is, some people believe it is the grandfather vortex on the planet.
so we're talking
And it's very
Stargate kind of thing, vortex, right? Or just
absolutely.
energy.
I mean, when you walk through Sedona, and you go to these different sites, and my co-host is Shakina Rose. She's an amazing star seed. She's travels interdimensionally. Beings like materialize in her bedroom, and she makes incredible Stargate pendulums and pendants.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, she makes devices. She makes like Stargate devices that are energetic devices. She's got one that's like a time travel device.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's really into all that. She's magnificent. So she had been here for years before I got here. And then when I got here, we just knew each other. We're like, okay, we've known each other for many lives. And so we started going out on the land, out on the Red Rocks, once a week. And we soon discovered we could share telepathic meditation. We'd go into meditation and I'd go, oh my God, I saw this, that. She'd go, I know, I saw the same thing. We're like, whoa, wow. So anyways, she knows where these portal spots are. And so she has this sort of ritual before you enter this vortex. And, I was new to all this and I'm like, okay, well, I'll go along, but I'm on it, I'm spiritual. So we would be in one type of reality, dense, low density, 3D reality. And then we would step over this line, like into this vortex. And right away, you can feel this higher swirling energy. And also, your body becomes lighter. Like, you're kind of lumbering around, and especially if you're hiking and you're trying to climb up rocks or whatever,
Mhm.
suddenly you're so light, you're just like, you're just like, climbing up the rock, and you're like, whoa, how did I get? But also, you just have this elevated sense of well-being. The whole environment just seems like magical, something out of like a fantasy movie,
Mhm.
right? Where everything's kind of sparkly and you just feel this oneness with nature. It's just really beautiful. And we've had some profound experiences. Now, Shakina takes a camera. It's not her phone, but just as an example, she has kind of an old fashioned camera and she
Mhm.
just takes pictures, and she gets things. Then she goes home and she looks at the pictures that she got, and you're stunned. There's like these huge blue orbs. There's a picture of me stepping into this giant blue orb, and
Wow.
there's like rainbow rays shooting out of our feet. I mean, it's phenomenal. And
Wow.
Shakina, like, she'll put her hand out and like a violet orb will land in her hand. And she's got this all on video, all on camera. It's amazing. So the show on our network called Supernatural Sedona,
Mhm.
click on that. and watch those episodes because a lot of the footage is in there of
Really?
these orbs and even crafts. Yes, we've seen
Wow.
crafts. There's footage of the crafts. We go to these, we take
So,
you into these vortexes
oh, hold on, pull this
on
up.
Supernatural Sedona.
Yeah, I'm pulling up your page just one more time for anybody that came in late on the show. So this is the trailers, and then Mysterious Sedona. That's the one you're talking about right here.
No, we're talking about Supernatural Sedona. So you're
Oh,
on trailers right
Supernatural.
now, but
Supernatural Sedona.
here's
Okay.
the shows. That is Mysterious Sedona over here because that's Tom Dongo, and he's got one of the world's largest collections of paranormal photos. But if you go up a little bit more, on the top row, you'll see the third show over,
Right here.
Supernatural Sedona.
Okay.
And that's Shakina and I. And we're going into these portals, and there's a little vortex right there, and there's a little spaceship.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a cool show.
well, can we can
Mhm.
we can we have permission to show a sneak peek?
Sure.
Okay, let's check it out.
Do this one. SS sneak peek. Yeah.
What is this? Is this the right one? Is this the right one?
um, let's see.
Oh, it's you're both wearing pink.
Yay!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going really slow for some reason. It must be because in actuality, it's much faster. That's Bell Rock.
Dave Childress.
There's Brad Olson.
Yeah,
David Childress. He's my
yeah.
neighbor. He lives down the street.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, they both live here.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah, there's a little sneak peek. um, Clearly, the video is super slow here for some
Oh,
reason, but
oh no,
yeah, you get the
it's
idea.
fine on this end. Yeah,
Oh, it is. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's just it's sending it back to you, and like I said, it was about the bandwidth. So, that was
Ah,
cool. I'll have to check that
cool.
out. Activation SP. Is that the pineal gland activation? No.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So then I have supernatural adventures, and I have episodes about expanding your psychic awareness, reuniting fragmented soul aspects, and then we're going to go to sacred sites around the globe. So
wow.
yeah,
I'm really
very
excited,
cool shows.
and and I'm excited to come out and see you. This is going to be fun.
Very good.
This is so
Yay! I look forward to
this
it
is
too.
so needed. This is so needed. I've got so much going on. I just need to. Yes. So well. Wow. Well, I hope we didn't get abducted because we've been on an hour and a half. If this is correct, so that's a pretty good long show. Can we do one when I come out? Have you on
Absolutely.
again? Or okay, cool. I see. This is what I was.
Yeah,
I
we can
taught
sit here
you.
together and
You didn't get to see the intro, but I was talking about how just being around you, just I get a big grin on my face, and the energy is just awesome. And like when I first met you at Disclosure Con, and you're like, "Hi, I'm Suzanne," and I was just like, because you saw I was stressing. I was stressing that morning, but everything was just cool right after I talked to you. So, um,
aw,
yeah. So anyway,
thank you for that.
we're gonna
Thank
wrap this
you.
up, but we're gonna be doing this again and again. And thank you for coming on my show. I really appreciate it. And everybody, please go to scispi.tv. That's SCISPI, not Y, .tv. Correct?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Really
Excellent.
appreciate
All right.
it.
Well, cool.
Very good.
Until I see you in Sedona, I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Very good. Thanks so much, Doc. Take
All
care.
right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right, folks. So let's see. Get her over here on hold. And here we go. So that was Suzanne Ross, Sci-Spy TV Network, and she's got her big event coming up. Um, whoop, there she goes. I don't know if you heard that little cool noise. Um, so yes, it's going to be March 19th and 20th. That's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. And cool, the 19th and 20th of February is the same too. Anyway, so yes, Tuesday and Wednesday, 19th and 20th of March in Sedona at Bell Rock. They're going to be doing this amazing event. I'm pretty stoked. So I hope you all will come out and join. Be a lot of fun. And what else? The time just flew by. I can't believe we were on that long. What else do I got coming up? I should be back Tuesday, Lord willing. Unless something big comes up, breaking news, then I will of course go live. Um, let's see what else. You know me. This is always improv. So I think that's about it. I so much good information tonight on tonight's show, and I've been really stoked about going to Sedona. So I'm gonna just cap it off of that. I'm gonna end it on a high note before I sit here and start babbling, going, what do I say next? Because I hate saying goodbye. So until next time, we will do it that way. I'll talk to you all then. I'm looking for the off button like I do every show. I'll talk to you all on the flip side. Doc Skinner, I'm out. Ciao, bella.